There you go.
Okay. Welcome everyone to another special council meeting of Warwick Township Council. I'll call the meeting to order. The purpose of this meeting is to receive an update on and discuss the operations of the Township of Warwick Fire and Rescue Department. I'll remind everyone to please disclose of any pecuniary interest that they may have at the appropriate time. And we have no staff items on the agenda tonight. So we'll go to 5A, which is an information correspondence package. We do need a motion to receive and file those pieces of correspondence. Thank you, Councillor White and Councillor Mitchell. Any discussion on that? Councillor White?
Can't hear you, Todd.
You are muted. Yeah.
I just think we need to be aware of how our community is feeling. I would say that the Freedom Convoy protest did cause a lot of disturbance in our community. And I would like to say that there has been a large change in the amount of correspondence there since the agenda went out, which is kind of shocking and surprising to me. So, you know, the previous correspondence that went out at the original agenda, to the best of my knowledge, was unsolicited, and I don't know about the rest. It just seems a little fishy to that. And I can't even download what the additional things are. But I believe this should be sent to our integrity commissioner, because this was generated by the actions of one person who's a member of our council, our mayor. This is the second time that we've gone forward to the integrity commissioner about the actions of our mayor. And I just feel, as a councillor, as a resident of Warwick, as an independent person here, that the best interests of our community are not being taken care of by the mayor at this time. I find it appalling what I've seen. I'm embarrassed, and I've had a number of community members also address me and say, I'm embarrassed to say I'm from Warwick. I feel, there's been a total disregard of our council, of the staff of Warwick Township, of the community through this. Like a person's actions who are in a place of leadership within a community do matter. And I am appalled, and I've been on many corporate boards for a number of years. I've been a counselor for 12 years in this community, and I've never felt this way about the leadership here. If this was in the corporate arena, this would have been dealt with swiftly and severely, meaning the board would have removed somebody from their position, sent out a press release to let people know things are stable. I really feel this is a reputational risk for the community as a whole. And I think our reputation in a number of areas has been compromised. As a counselor myself, I try my best to have actions that reflect well on myself and well on the community as whole, because I feel I have a responsibility as a counselor to the members of our community and to do the best for our community. These actions, I don't think, do live up to that standard in my feeling. And I feel there is an integrity issue that needs to be investigated. I do feel it should be a more broad investigation as well than it was the last time. I think that the integrity commissioner needs to talk to our township staff, all of them who are in the office, who have been dealing with things, through this. We get our pieces of people who address us, but the majority of this correspondence and the angry reactions on both sides of this issue go through our office. And I don't feel our staff have signed up for that. I don't think it's fair. And it takes them away from the jobs that we've hired them to do and that we need them to do. And, I think it shows a real lack of respect for everyone who is involved in Warwick Township. And I think the correspondence reflects that. I think the correspondence that has come in late to the meeting, it stands for itself.
I guess for clarification, what are you accusing me of?
Not having the best interests of the township at heart, as we all should, as counselors. I'm also, you're bringing huge reputational risks towards us. And trust me, that is huge. We are probably missing out on things because of the way we are viewed right now. And I have concerns, and we may never know all of that. So.
Councillor Mitchell, you have a comment?
Well, I'd just like to, I don't have the amount of experience as a councillor that Councillor White has, but I do feel as though that you have gone rogue, if I can direct you, or if I can comment towards you directly. I feel like we've been sidelined in some of your maybe not direct decisions of how council has been directed, but certainly the way we want to conduct ourselves and hold our brand as Warwick Township on the world stage. I truly believe that. And it's wholeheartedly disappointing. When I came aboard here as a councillor 3 years ago, I was excited for the camaraderie, because we are a team and we have always championed, I believe we've always striven towards championing transparent conversations and tough conversations, whether it be in public or behind closed doors. And I feel like you sought counsel outside of the elected and acted on those, whether they be ego-driven beliefs or ideological beliefs or what the case is. I believe you think you're right, but I also believe that you chose not to engage the elected council and acted on your own accord or something else. I'm not sure what. So I would second the sentiments of Councillor White and involve the integrity commissioner. Because like I say, I felt sidelined and not involved in how to approach the convoy at the 402, which, if I can be frank, it's illegal activity. And that's not the world I'm gonna live in, where we promote that no matter what the cause. Looking up the very definition of civil disobedience is actively engaging in those illegal activities, but then also wholly engaging in the acceptance of responsibility for enacting in that civil disobedience. And so that's what I believe.
Thank you for your comment. Just to clarify, I had nothing to do with the convoy blockage on the 402. I did not encourage it. I was not involved with the group at all. I wasn't even in the township when they did the blockage of the 402.
You
Just
did not
so
denounce
that is
it,
clear.
Jackie. I'm sorry, Mayor, but you didn't even denounce that it was an illegal action. And the rest of us took the time
be
at
clear,
our first meeting afterwards and did.
Yes, to be clear, I believe that there is a large portion of our community who supports the convoy. I'm not saying that what they did was right. And if I had have denounced them, if I had have called them names, if I had have called them economic terrorists, like a lot of people have, that would have divided our community more. And I guarantee you, when I called them on Monday morning to ask them to please leave the 402 so that we could open it up again, they would not have answered my phone. I guarantee you they would not have answered my phone had I done that. So there are leaders in the community that want to denounce everybody that disagrees with them, and that is their choice to denounce them. But I'm telling you, in my opinion, denouncing half of the population in Canada is not the way to go. We as a council.
We denounce, excuse me, Mayor, we denounce illegal actions. I did not denounce people in the community. I denounced the actions of those individuals that were illegal, and others on your council did as well. We actually do listen to the community as much as you do. Mm-hmm. And we hear what's going on out there. And I'm sorry, but that I do not believe that is the will of our community. I have never known the community to endorse illegal actions, ever.
I did not endorse anything illegal. If they were breaking the law, the OPP would have gone and arrested them. I'm not sure why they did not. But the fact remains that there is a huge division in our community and obviously in our council. And you cannot impeach somebody for disagreeing with you. You cannot. We are a team here, and I value the fact that you guys have different opinions than I do, and I respect your opinions. And I have no problem defending my opinion to anybody and to discussing with everybody. I think that we need to stop demonizing each other. We need to stop accusing each other, and we need to start listening to each other more. And we need, as leaders of this community,
I fully agree.
Come together.
Listening to one another, but that's also picking up the phone and asking what our opinions are. And that's not what happened here. That's not at all what happened here. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little fired up myself.
Yeah. Did you want me to call you to ask you if it was all right for me to call the convoy to get them off the 402? When should I have contacted you?
It would have been nice when you actually speak to the media to really clarify that these are my personal views. I have been doing that. And we have no problem with everybody's personal views. But when that affects the whole community and it's put out there as the mayor of Warwick Township in every communication, whether it be social media, in the regular media, on Twitter, that becomes a problem. And at the same time, that paints us all with the same brush. And not all of us have the same views, agree. But the other thing is too, people do make choices and have options, and they do have to own those choices. I always feel that. I am, for people's own choice, but there are consequences or, things to those choices. If you choose not to do one thing, well, you may not be able to do another. But I have a problem where people don't take ownership of their own choices.
Thank you. Councillor Morris?
Yeah, first of all, I'm not going to get into a witch hunt. The question here is whether the mayor went outside the line of her job. We have the integrity commissioner to decide that. As far as I'm concerned, let him make the decision. If the mayor has done something wrong, the consequences will follow. If she hasn't, it's a dead subject. It's gone. Absolutely. Let the voters in October decide, right or wrong.
I welcome an integrity commission investigation, if that's what council wishes. Councillor Westgate. Councillor Westgate, you are muted.
I agree with Wayne. We should let the integrity commissioner decide. Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs. I don't, it's just when one counselor's beliefs are, I really don't know how to say this, are exposing the whole township and council to criticism and not speaking for the whole of council. I think we should speak as a council on most things, but I say we should get on with life here and let the integrity commissioner have a say.
That is fine. So I'll ask our clerk, do we need a vote on that?
Thanks, Mayor Rombouts. So I think, so we have an existing code of conduct, as everyone on council is aware. And we also have on this agenda some correspondence available related to this issue. So firstly, I want to note that any member of the public or council is able to, or councillors in particular, are able to make a comment or submit a question or a complaint to the integrity commissioner at any time related to the conduct of any member of council. And that contact information is available on our website. If council wishes for to direct me to refer the correspondence that is on this agenda to the integrity commissioner for review, I'm happy, of course, to do that. And members of council are welcome to also submit their own comments and questions to the integrity commissioner as well. But yes, Mayor Roberts, more directly to your question, I would require direction or a resolution to make that forward the correspondence to the integrity commissioner.
Well, I believe Councillor White and Councillor Mitchell have moved and seconded that. I would, based on this conversation, perhaps encourage staff to write up a press release stating that the actions of my actions over the past week do not reflect council or Warwick Township staff. If council wishes to clarify that, that is fine with me. I have attempted in every interview to say that this is my opinion and my opinion only. I've been very clear that I have an amazing council that all has very different opinions, and I welcome the fact that they represent different parts of our community. And that's what makes us great as a council, is that we do have different opinions, and a lot of times for time reasons, they don't print that or they don't have that in the press. I'm sure that the press is happy to hear from any of our councillors. If they wish to speak out against me, that's fine. I don't see how us fighting as a council is going to help us bridge the divide that is happening in our community. I think that we need empathy for everybody, and we need to learn to heal from this. And we need to come together as a council and as a community. There's a lot of people in a lot of pain on both sides of this issue. I recognize that. I've seen it from both sides. And I've shared tears with people on both sides of this issue. And I know that we as a council can lead our community through this difficult time if we do it properly. So if council wishes, I can take the vote to have an integrity commissioner come forward. I'm happy to deal with that. I don't feel that I have done anything wrong. I've asked for empathy and sympathy for both sides of the issue. And I have not deliberately, I have not led anything. I have not encouraged anybody to do anything illegal. I am trying my best to navigate through this, but I completely understand why council feels the way they do. I just hope that we can get through this and move on, because we have an amazing council. So, all in favor of an integrity commission investigation against the mayor of Warwick Township? That is carried. Is that all discussion on the correspondence? For those of you, the one thing that I do want to highlight is, I know a lot of the people were upset. If we could highlight perhaps the last correspondence from Staff Sergeant Ken, I don't see his last name, Ken Key. Perhaps Amanda, you could highlight that so that the community knows what is happening as far as the policing costs are concerned.
Thanks, Mayor Rumbouts. I can try, but I'll defer to the treasurer. If I'm incorrect, he can correct me. So based on this correspondence and my conversation with the OPP today, it is my understanding that the costs associated with overtime and policing related to the 402 convoy in our municipality will not be borne directly by the Lambton Police Services Board nor the municipality, that they would be borne by the province itself and the Ministry of Transportation. Of course, all policing costs are for the township do draw from expenses in previous 5-year rolling average. So there could be some implication in the future, a small, but not, we will not receive a bill for this directly. Trevor might be able to comment on how that averaging works.
Yeah, as per paragraph 4 of their contract, it's done on a 4-year average. We will see impacts of it, but it'll be to a larger pool, just not specifically to us or to our Lambton Group Police Service Board. And the actual costs of this will not be reflected until the 2025 annual billing statement when it's fully known.
Thank you for that clarification. In the future, I encourage any counselors who have issue with me to direct their issues with me personally. My phone is always open. I'm happy to talk to you about any issues that you have with me. And I encourage that communication to remain open. Is there any other issues from the correspondence listed? Seeing none, all in favor of receiving and filing the remainder of the correspondence? That is carried. Thank you. We're going to go on to the next item. The reason why we are here tonight, the biannual report from the Township of Warwick Fire and Rescue, and who is going to be speaking to that report? I believe it was put together by both of our chiefs. Is there anything you would like to highlight from that report? Chief Goodhue?
Happy to answer any questions regarding it. I don't know whether you want to go through item by item.
Well, we do need a motion to
maybe-
receive and file.
Yeah, I guess happy to answer any questions there could be.
Same here.
We do need a motion to receive and file that report. Moved by Councillor Westgate, seconded by Councillor White. Any questions from council? Councillor Morris? Councillor Morris, you're muted.
Yeah, I know. A lot of these calls, were they through the 6 o'clock till 6 o'clock range through the day? Or were a lot of them off hours?
I'm sorry, Councillor Morris, my my internet froze here when you started to ask that question. Could you repeat that?
So
Yeah, I was on mute half the time. That's my fault. the calls that Watford and Warwick had in the year that you reported, were a lot of them through the daytime, like when both crews had to respond, which is a good system.
When you see a 2-station response, that's 6 to 6.
Okay, thank you very much.
Monday to Friday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All in favor of receiving and filing that report? That is carried. And council, we do have an update on the status of the fire master plan implementation. We need a mover and a seconder to receive and file that for information. Moved by Councillor Mitchell, seconded by Councillor Morris. We will be, I think, looking at this closer in the near future. How does Amanda, thank you. Sorry, Ms. Gubbles.
Thank you, Mayor Roberts. So this report is just provided as an update on the implementation status, obviously by the title. So there is a summary chart of where the progress is at. I think the plan was initially approved in 2017, or implementation began in 2018. And while there has been progress made, there are, I think it's fair, the chiefs can tell me if not, but to say we're a bit behind the implementation based on the initial schedule for the plan. And some of those decisions are related to larger, I think, organizational type decisions for the fire department. And so when I prepared this report, I provided it seeking direction from council. But should you wish, since I do know there are some other discussions happening tonight and in the near future, we could simply, as Mayor Rumbat outlined, just receive and file this for now. And if at the end of this council meeting I don't receive the direction I'm hoping for, you can expect to see another report asking for direction from council in the near future.
Okay, is there any questions or comments on that? All in favor of receiving and filing that report? That is carried. We have the updated Township of Warwick Community Risk Assessment, and we need a mover and a seconder to approve that report.
I can provide some comments on that if you'd like.
Just like to
ahead
get
of
it on
time.
the floor first.
Okay.
And then we'll discuss. So moved by Councillor Mitchell, seconded by Councillor Westgate. All right. Chief Goodhill, you have some comments?
Yeah, just a little explanation better of what the community risk assessment is. The community risk assessment is a exercise to define the risks within your community. Identifying geographical, demographics, all hazards is related to the HIRA, similar, that we go through. And it's used as a benchmarking process to be able to review in future years and see if there's what changes have happened within our municipality. And therefore, we can change the direction of service if needed be. So depending upon how the community grows, it may require changes, and this allows as a benchmark. This is not required to be submitted to the fire marshal or anyone else. It is our own document, and however, it was requested that it be done, and a completion date actually of 2024 was the final drop, I believe, date. It was a good exercise going through. I do think there will be more changes implemented in the future. Construction of homes, which will then be looked at and added into this report as well. So
Chief Sitlington, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, like Brad was saying, this is actually a living document. So every year we got to go through it, and any changes, if there's a new industry comes into town or population explodes, then it has to be updated every year. So it's basically a living document. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions from council? Councillor Morris?
I'd just like to say I appreciate this, concerning COVID and all. Your inspections were kind of hard to do. Thank you very much for keeping up.
Yeah, a lot of the information was regarded back to StatsCan and previous history of fire loss reports and so on and so forth. So it was a chunk of work, but happy to have it done and look forward to moving forward with it.
That's great. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all in favor of approving this document? That is carried. Is there any new business tonight? Seeing none, we will be going into a closed meeting session for the reasons listed on the agenda. So we thank our public for tuning in and wish you all a good evening. Stay safe and be kind to each other. And the weather's not great out there, so please try to stay off the roads as best you can.